Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming Podcast.
What up to you, One Up Gaming? They're not really ready for this one. One Up Gaming is behind me. Let me get in beast mode. If you wanna try me, you don't need a cheat code. Conte is who I be. To you is Mr. Hero. Legendary adversary. Flows considered lethal. I'm a Super Saiyan. I got Dragon Balls, I wouldn't lie. You might think I'm playing when I'm saying I can really fly. When I'm on the track, you feel the energy I'm pushing out. Put me on the map. One Up Gaming's who I'm talking about. I'm the rapping Master Chief, epic to say the least. Contain the hero, better etch that in your memory. And so the One Up Gaming for the show out. Contain the hero is really gonna show out. Show out. Contain. And so the One Up. And so the One Up. Dope bitch you ever heard.
Hey guys, Justin here. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about this thing we're really getting into here at One Up Gaming. It's called the Eagle Box, and it's a tiny Android console that, with a high-quality wireless controller, connects to your TV via HDMI, and then it gives you instant access to all kinds of retro games. It comes pre-installed with Android TV and the movie apps and all the fun stuff like Kodi that you would expect from an Android box. But in addition to that, I mean, this is like me going off and saying, but wait, there's more! It can play PS1, MAME, Dreamcast, N64, Neo Geo, Atari, NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, or, you know, Sega Genesis back in the real world, what do you want to call it? Commodore 64, Amiga, ZX Spectrum, you know, I mean, I could go on for days with the amount of games that this thing can play. And if, by chance, you happen to run out of memory, it has an expandable memory slot too, so you can keep adding on to your game library if that's your thing. Unlike a lot of these other Android-based consoles out there, it supports up to 1080p. It includes a TV remote, and I can't speak highly enough about this thing. It does everything you'd want it to, and it's a media device too. So if you're into quality retro gaming, and you know, I know Nintendo has this, NES Classic console coming out in November, and it's going to be $60 US or whatever. But you can start now. I mean, you could play these games on your TV right now, rather than having to wait, and probably not even be able to get a unit, one of those NES Classic consoles due to, sheer nostalgic demand. I mean, the pre-orders are going to be crazy. Why go through that when you can get an Eagle Box from OneUp Gaming right now and start playing those classic games right now? And then, when you're done playing games, I mean, you could watch movies and do a host of other things, media-related, all in one device. It comes with a wireless controller. It comes with a TV remote. And you can, record live TV if you want. I mean, this is one of these things it does. It's a full media device. It can record virtually anything you want to do on Android, you can do on here, because it is a full Android device. And for those of you familiar with Kodi, it comes with that pre-installed. So, go to OneUp Gaming, go to our website, okay? Check it out, and get yourself an Eagle Box. Don't bother going to eBay. Who knows what's going to be there. I mean, you never know what you're getting out of eBay. I mean, how many times have I been burned? I can't even count the times that I've been burned through eBay. But know that you're getting a quality device through OneUp Gaming that's going to do all your retro games, and some fairly modern ones too, and all your media stuff too, right in your living room, right now. No need to wait. So, go to the OneUp Gaming website, check it out, and I think you'll like it. Anyway, back to the show.
So, we are here, it's OneUp Gaming, it's me, David, and I've got a nice guest. So if you just want to introduce yourself and just say who are you and what do you do, please?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Gustav. I'm the community manager of Sociable Soccer. New game coming out next year. Quarter one. I don't want to say too much, so I'll say quarter one. But I've been working with Pro Evolution Soccer before and building communities for that game, so I have some experience in the business since before. But it's great to be on. Thanks for inviting me.
It's not a problem. We've had Jon on several times, and we normally have a section that's like 20 minutes, 40 minutes long, but whenever Jon's on, it's about 2 hours long.
But we have Jon with us here, so just look, he's here, screaming out. Yeah.
I don't know if you've encountered that. He does like to talk.
Yeah. He can go on for hours.
Yeah. But I will say, for a podcast and for an interview, that is perfect. I've had people on before where you say, "Oh, tell us about the game," and they literally give a one-word answer.
Okay.
And it's like, that's not helping.
No. Jon can go on. Jon can go, like, he can. Well, he sends us these long, files, and then everything is there's a description of everything. So I guess when he goes on an interview, he just talks about these long stuff that he's written down, So, so we as a gameplay designer or a game designer, you have to do that because you want to be as detailed as possible. So I guess Jon is very detailed when he when he does his like gameplay descriptions and everything, is that when he talks to our programmers and everything, how exactly he wants it, and that's very important when you're making a game.
Yeah. So you say you've been with the Pro Evolution Soccer sort of community side of things.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
I started, doing these unofficial updates for the Swedish league and stuff like that back in I think it's 2005 probably, so it's a long time ago. But then they also needed somebody in the Nordic area to work with PES, So there was an office in Stockholm back then, and I went up there to present what I had done, and they used my files, the updated files that I did in the Swedish league, and in derbies, like between two Swedish teams, and so that's how I got in there, and then I got a job with them, working with the communities in the Nordic area, and now I'm here. But this job, I quit that job in 2011. So I've been doing other stuff since then, and then suddenly I got the call from Jon. So he asked me if I wanted to be on their team. So it's a great opportunity. It's nice. It's one of the few games. One of my childhood games is Sociable, Sensible Soccer. So it was quite easy to say yes, but at the same time, I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't know if I flew over to Helsinki where the office is, and I had a talk with them about how they were going to put this together, because it was important to me, so that you saw that there was a long plan for it. So but I came on after that. It was great. It's great. Yeah.
So when you started, was the Kickstarter still going, sort of thing?
No, I came in. I was, I supported the Kickstarter as a fan.
So did I.
And then, so did you. And then when it came to an end in November, I thought to myself, one of my favorite football games is not coming back. So I was like, and I read at the same time that we're continuing this in we're going with this in the old-fashioned way, and I thought, okay, and I didn't think much of it, and just when I quit Konami, actually, I sent a mail to Jon saying that if you are going to start something in the future, please contact me, because I'm ready to do something with you if there's something with a new football game or whatever. And so, I was sitting there in February. It was snowing in Sweden like hell, and I was looking out the window, and just suddenly, whip! There was like a mail in my email, and I saw it from Jon Hare, and then I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. He linked me to one of his colleagues in Finland, and I was just like, I was doing a little bit Skype interview with him, the Finnish guy, and then he said well, you should come over, and I went over. It was just, wow, what else can you do? You're surprised in your daily job, and then you're it's amazing opportunity. Come back into the business.
So are you working on this full time with Jon?
No, I'm not. I'm not actually working full time on this. I have another job also, so I'm doing two jobs at the same time. We'll see about how that develops in the future, but I'm doing this part time now because I would say that I'm not as needed now as I will be when the game is released. When the game is released, I will put in a lot more time. Right now it's mostly about developing the game, and I'm not involved in that process. I'm there to do everything that has to do with social media right now, But then I will do also like all the community support and stuff like that. We'll probably bring in other people too, because we will need support in another kind of way when the game is released for the masses, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, like, I know I basically did your kind of job. There was a small team in Liverpool making their first iOS game.
Yeah.
And I came on board about 3 months before the game was finished.
Okay.
And for the first month or so, I was just giving them ideas of how to get the game's name out. And then a month before the game was out, I was emailing all the press sites saying, would you like code? You know, would you be interested in reviewing this? Would you like to do features on this? Yeah. And then basically, as soon as the game was out, that was my job finished.
Okay.
You know, I was just there to try to build up the excitement for the game until it was released.
Yeah. But you know, a football game is a little bit. It's more than just the build-up. It's just going to continue after that, because eventually you want to have this game coming out as a sequel. You want to have sequels. You know, football games is more than one game, more than often. So, I mean, I will, and my ambition would be to stay with the team. So just not quit when the game comes out. But I mean, yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be part of this, and I can mix it with my old job, and my current job and this job now. It's a perfect mix, you know. And I get to travel a lot. When Jon is not there, I'm the one that does the travels to the different places we go, and I love hanging out with the people in the industry, all the nerds. I love that. It's superb.
Yeah, I sort of met you in person in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
You know? But, and I mean, I tell you, we were talking a little bit before we came on, and we talked a little bit about Dino Dini's Kickoff Revival game.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as you are a fan of, like, Sensible Soccer...
Yeah.
I mean, like, on the back of my wall, I've got, like, a Sensi sort of poster and some signed sort of Jon Hare stuff behind me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a massive, like, Sensible Software fan. And I also loved just about every football game from the early 90s. You know, even the ones that weren't very good on the SNES and Mega Drive, I still put hours and hours into them.
Yeah.
But the old Kickoff game I used to love so much.
Yeah.
And we got sent review code for Kickoff Revival, and I actually gave my code to someone else, because I'd already pre-ordered and bought the game. That I wanted the game, and I was like, I don't want to review it because I want, you know, it's like I don't want to have my feelings sort of mixed in.
You're like a little bit biased.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And if I'd have played that game before I played the little demo slice of the Sociable Soccer, I would have been so much more in favour of positiveness for Sociable Soccer. You know, because like when I played it said 50% build on the demo stations, and I was a little bit, it seems a little slow, it seems a bit, you know, there was bits and bobs that needed a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
But going back to this game that's a full retail release, I just could not believe that anyone could release a game in that state where it's got so many bugs. Like, you can actually shoot, the goalkeeper catches it but falls into the goal, gets up, and it doesn't count as a goal, even though the ball clearly went over the line.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this, and I'm not before we started. Yeah, just like you said. But yeah, and we don't want to go into some kind of battle with Kickoff. That battle has been, you know, it was going on in the 90s, and I don't want to get involved with that kind of stuff. It's just we're going to show that we are making a good game, and that's what we're going to do, and we're not going to focus on what somebody else do. So, I mean, we're focused on making this a great game as it is released, and we're not looking at any other football game. This is our game. We're releasing that, and you get to play that. And we're not looking at other games. We're looking at our own. That's like the only thing I have to say about that.
Yeah, don't worry.
I enjoyed Kickoff a little bit when in the 90s. I never played it like on a daily basis. I went to some friend's place and I played it there. And since I had played Sensible soccer back then, I never got like into how you control the ball and stuff like that in that game. But it doesn't matter. Sensible soccer is one game, Kickoff is one game, and now we're both back in a kind of different way. And let's see who does best.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to get into a sort of like a hate war, because the amount of hurtful emails I received after our review went up, it's crazy, you know. But I guess it's like the No Man's Sky, you know, when they sort of announced that they were delaying it for about a month. They got like death threats.
Yeah.
It's like, how is that even? How does the human brain even comprehend to sort of do something like that?
Yeah, that's just like we're gonna delay the game for your pleasure. So let's we'll wait another month, and then just the mail come in like we're gonna kill you because we want so badly to go out in space and find different planets. So we're just gonna send you a death threat. But I mean, people are crazy these days. I mean, I'm glad that this virtual reality is coming so that people can just enjoy virtual reality when they're just building up hate within themselves. So they can just go out and just scream at people in the street in virtual reality instead. Probably that's a better solution, right?
It probably is, yeah. But
and then the people can actually in the virtual reality can react with all these sentiments that you react with when you get the hate mail. They can cry, they can call the police in virtual reality, and then you get this kind of maybe people that hate gets this kind of feeling of what it is to be hated. I mean, it's gone to proportions where it's just really sad that people they don't think before they talk. So, yeah.
I mean, I have that problem, but you know.
We all have that problem. Me too, especially when I'm speaking English, which is not my natural tongue. So
I can imagine that's quite hard because I can barely speak English, let alone any other language. You know. So, but anyway, as you were talking about virtual reality. Yeah. When I was at the Glasgow event, it wasn't announced, but I was talking with, I think it was Chris, who was like the organizer of the event, and we were talking, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they're doing virtual reality on Sociable Soccer." It's like, really? So
yeah, I kind of let slip like a little, like a little, what's it called, like a little lead, to that because. It was we had that mode in development then, and I got in touch with Andy, who arranges the event, and he said like, we have virtual reality here, and I said, we might have a virtual reality version, and then I talked to one of our developers, and he said like, yeah, we have it, but eventually couldn't get it ready, so that's why we couldn't show it there, or it would have been a major surprise already back then. But now we have it announced, and we've been thinking a lot of how we're supposed to present it and make it really special. A lot of people have said, like, some people sent in some mails to me, and they asked like how much out of the other development time this mode is going to take up, because they were worried about the development of the product that most people would buy, and not the VR mode, how much time that would take up. And the VR mode didn't take up much time, actually, because it was like one of our programmers was just sitting at home, and he was like thinking, maybe if I do it this way, then maybe it will work in VR. And he just came up with this brilliant VR mode, which was easy to implement in what we already had. So it was a quick VR mode that became something that people are really liking right now. For example, and we're having the game shown at the Science Museum in London.
Yeah.
And you can go there and try it out, actually, up until the 7th of August. And you can see how the virtual reality in our game will work. And actually, there's a link on our Facebook page where you can see a small snippet of like a BBC news story that shows our game actually in the virtual reality. So you can go there and check that out. But I mean, we have a name for our virtual reality mode. It's not totally official yet, but it's there on our Facebook and our news and everything. It's play like a god mode. So we've been thinking a little bit, how can you do a special thing with VR in a football game? And that would probably be that you could like sit and see the game from wherever you are, wherever you'd like, and walk around maybe the pitch and sit like in different places or just find your spot, that kind of thing. And it works with Sociable Soccer, because people love the top view, and like that you can just like stand up and look down and get this zoom feature kind of thing where you actually want it, and that's kind of neat, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how they would go about implementing that sort of mode, but to me, it seems as though what you would do is just have a fixed camera right at the top above the center circle, that when you actually use the motion sensor to look up and down, it just moves the camera sort of like as if, up and down. So to me, it doesn't sound as though it'd be that hard to implement. If you were going in where you were controlling a player and you had a virtual head, that would be so much more difficult to do.
Yeah, we didn't think in those terms, actually. We thought more in the classical kind of sensible world of soccer and the sociable soccer top-down view, that you have to have this overview of the arena, of the pitch, so that's what we did, and that's what we're sticking to.
Yeah. So I mean, the one thing I will say, the worst part of the game that I played, that I thought, was the side-on view.
Yeah.
And to me, in any game, what you need at the very least is set cameras like overhead, quarter angle, side-on, and then you also need like close, medium, far sort of distance, and then maybe the height, low, medium, high. So you can actually change the perspective to how you... Because I remember when I used to play PES, and then one year they changed the camera to be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And that messed up my entire game for months until I got used to the slightly lower angle. It was only, like degrees, like 3 or 4 degrees lower. But because of that, it messed up your perspective for the, like, crossing the ball to the other side of the pitch.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think you need to be able to have, like at least 4 or 5 different options to like lower and zoom in or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know if that's happening?
Yeah, we're not there yet with those options. I mean, we put in this side view because we thought that another crowd than the classic crowd would like to have this kind of view. But now, and we have the replays in this side view, and we will have the classic replay from the top view too. But I mean, we thought that maybe a younger generation would like to have this side view, and of course we have to do some tweaks to this side view and make it feel like maybe tweak the camera like you said, but I mean also when you look at the game from the side view, you think that at least I do think that I want to see a lot more detail than I do in the top down view, because in the top down view you have this. It's the classic kind of sensible World of Soccer style of view, but since you're looking at it this way, you don't see all the details that are happening. And when you go on side view, you want even more detail. And we're not really there yet with animations and stuff like that. And probably, but now you started talking about the camera, and of course, the camera is not a hard thing to change for us. Definitely not. And we're going to look into how people like this camera view, but there's still many more months until release. And I don't think it's a big problem. The big problem is getting used to playing the game in that side view. Then, of course, it's hard to play the game in this kind of way. I mean, maybe we should talk about this a little bit later, but the controls that we use nowadays is so the analog control that we use in the game, it's different from when you played Sensible Soccer back in the day. It's more sensible to touch, and you can slow down play actually in Sociable Soccer that you couldn't do in Sensible World of Soccer or Sensible Soccer, and you could actually play a slower game if you like, even in the top-down view if you want to do that. It's, of course, both views are equal in kind of control schemes and everything. So, but now people are playing the game mostly in the top-down view because it just feels so much better to play it in that view right now. And we'll be looking at making the game as good in this side view, but it will take a little bit more time, and we will do some tweaks, and we'll do changes to it probably, and there's a lot more to come to the game than what you've seen, and where we are, and what we're doing some new stuff for Gamescom, so we'll announce that, and then we'll see where this side view goes. You know, we have to have it in there because of the new generation and stuff like that, but we'll get there eventually, I'm sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, when I saw the game, it wasn't fully announced that it was also for, like, iOS and Android, but now it's been fully announced for those platforms.
Yeah. And I actually, on my cellular phone here,
you've got it
I have Android version. I have the Android version here. I will do a small... we'll show it a little bit here, I guess. Wait a second. Yeah, here we go. Kind of, let's see here. If we can see, this is world exclusive stuff. Oh, let's see. Just a minute here, because there was a new upgrade to it. So I just have to upgrade it, and then we can talk a little bit more about it in just a little while. Okay?
Yeah. So, I mean, while that's doing that, I just wondered, with a lot of like iPhone and Android games, they have to be, or what people assume, they have to be about the $10 mark maximum per price. Yeah. Otherwise, people have the perceived expectation that if it's anything more than that, then they're getting ripped off. You know, even though I remember the PlayStation Portable, I used to buy Football Manager on the PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
And that was £30. And
£30.
The exact same game came to the iOS called Football Manager Mobile or Football Manager Pocket. I can't remember. It was something like that. And it was like $6.99.
Okay. Yeah, then you felt ripped off then, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
I know what you mean. I mean, we when we were in Glasgow, when we were in Blackpool, and when we were in Poland, when we were in Sweden, we did this. We did surveys about what people like and how much they were prepared to pay for this game that they just played. And only people that played the game took this survey.
I took the survey.
Yeah. Yeah. You did the survey too. So anyhow, about that, people were prepared to pay about 10 to 20 euros for the game. Euros. I don't know how much that becomes in pounds, but
it'd be between £8 to about £15, give or take.
Yeah. Okay. So, and also when you look at the mobile games, we'll do a free-to-play version. I mean, and then we'll have different solutions, and for this free-to-play version, we haven't decided how to build that up quite yet, but it will be a kind of you get to play a few games, and then you have to wait another day or something like that, or you pay a small sum to unlock that game in the range of what we just talked about, not over 10, I believe, nothing above 10, to unlock the full game. So you get to try the game out and everything and see if you like it. And it's a classic kind of way to promote a game. I just hope that, this game is being developed on Unity, so it would be the same version probably on all the different platforms, with a little tweak here and there for different platforms anyhow. But basically the game is made as it's made now for all kind of platforms when we develop it. So not big changes between the different ones.
And will it also support like Bluetooth controllers?
Yeah.
For mobile.
Use this kind of solution. So if you have controllers, play it with controllers instead of the touch screen is really good. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, no, but I mean, we used the iPad to wire it up to a big TV and play it on that, and it worked perfectly with the Bluetooth controllers. And I mean, that's maybe a little bit of the future of gaming comes from these. Maybe you have a kind of I know that Nvidia is having their own like kind of game station, and I don't know what was it called again. I don't know what it's called.
I know the Nintendo doing the NX. It's rumored to be using the NX. Is it the Tegra 1X sort of chip?
Something in that, yeah. And we're in. I mean, when you're developing a game, you're gonna listen around a little to hear which parties are interested, and yeah, there are many big ones that are interested, I'd say.
Yeah.
But with these controllers that we talked about, it's maybe when you're using your iPad and everything, you want to connect it to the TV and play instantly. You don't want to have a PlayStation 4 maybe, or you don't want to have an Xbox One and those kind of things. And you want to be able, and with our game, you'll be able to play the same game as you'll be buying on this on a console machine and play it on your iPad instead. So it's good. Like it's not going to be any big changes between the different formats. Yes.
I mean, like, could you say yes, no, maybe to like cross-platform saves? So if I buy it on my iPhone and have it on the PlayStation, I could like keep the save of the same game running between both, so I can play it mobile and come home and carry the save going.
I'd love to answer that question and say yes, but I just from knowledge between how things work on different platforms, I just can't say yes because it's different save formats, everything. I mean, if we were allowed to just do it like this, it would go smoothly because of the Unity engine and everything like that. But because of the different platforms, I just can't say. It's impossible for me to say. But if all platforms just used Unity in a smooth way, then we could just put it there. You know, like if it was just if we had if it was open for us to do what we wanted, we just put it there. Yeah. But since there are some differences between the platforms, I just can't say. It's just it would just be optimal to say. It would be optimal, to have it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think using the same engine makes it possible, but it depends on the loopholes of each individual, Sony, Microsoft, if they would allow that feature to work.
Exactly.
Because at the moment, I know the guys doing the Rocket League. They've said they've got cross-play between the PS4 and the Xbox One working. Microsoft have said yes, that's fine, and it's Sony who are holding everything up. So
it'd be great if you could just play a game with somebody within between two platforms. I mean, that would be the optimal thing for a gamer to be able to meet any of your friends with any kind of platform that you have. It would be optimal. It would be great. And I remember when it was amazing back in the days, back in 2005, 2006. You had PlayStation, and you could play against PC players on Pro Evolution Soccer back then. It was fantastic thing because I think nobody had done that before them. And it was kind of a thing, and on a big community that we had here in Sweden, we played leagues with both PC and PS2 players. It was fantastic because you could involve so many more people than we were used to, because we had to divide the different platforms. But in these two games that came out, PS5 and PS6, you didn't have to. And of course, I hope that we are going back towards compatibility between all the formats. It would be just super. I think it would be super for everyone involved in making games, and also, of course, major thing for the fans and people that are into making big communities with games. Super thing. I hope it comes back.
Yeah, I mean, it would make everything a lot better, because then you wouldn't have people with the console wars. Because why would you have to bitch on about this, that, the other, when everyone can just play together? Yeah.
I mean, I really hope that, especially in sports games, you want to be able to face anybody of your friends, and people have different kind of products at home, and I want to play my friend who maybe only have the iPad. Maybe I want to play him, and I can't because he's not invested in one of the game consoles because he doesn't play anything else than maybe just this football game. And so it would be optimal if I could play against him also. And I mean, why shouldn't it be done? I mean, it's for the pleasure of everybody.
I totally agree. Yeah.
But I can't say how much Sony thinks that it will be taking a market from them and everything like that. You know, these kind of things also comes into consideration, like how Android games would, I mean, how it would be better for you to buy buy the Android game if that was cheaper, like these kind of nice. Well, there's a lot of things to take into consideration there, and I would love for it to be like that you should be able to play with everybody. But well, yeah, that's about it. That's about it for me about that.
No, it does. It makes total sense. We just hope that 20 years, 30 years of the suits at the big companies see sense, and it's better for everyone to play together.
Yeah. I mean, that's the main thing about gaming. They should be able to do it with everybody, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's an inclusive sort of hobby.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be you bought this one platform, you have to stick to that.
Yeah. It's just like our name, Sociable.
So, getting back to Sociable.
Yeah.
When we had Jon on, God, must have been about 6-7 months ago now. And it would have been. It'd been November when was that when the Kickstarter sort of came about?
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't it early November when the Kickstarter came, and then it was like it ended in the end of November or something like that, right?
Yeah, so we'd have talked to Jon maybe about the 10th of November, that sort of time.
Okay.
And he was saying about the so-called, like, what you would do in the main game, where you create yourself as an avatar, and you join your team, and then you play, like, online matches to get ranked up, to eventually, hopefully, be able to play in, like, the England squad, or the French squad, or whatever nationality you chose as yourself.
Right.
I mean,
that describes the game pretty well.
How is that coming along?
That's kind of the main mode in this game, I'd say. Like, if you're into, most people are into making themselves and make themselves play in their national team and their favorite club team. So, I mean, this is the mode that we're working on most right now, because besides the gameplay, I'd say, because this mode is it's kind of huge with all the different teams. We'll have like classic players in this mode, so you'll be able to unlock them and put them in your favorite team. I mean, so if you play with, let's say you're playing with, I don't know, what's your favorite team?
Newcastle.
Newcastle, okay. So, I mean, you're playing with Newcastle, and Newcastle is, you win a game, you win several games, you'll be able to unlock Alan Shearer, for example, and have him in your team. And then, if you do really well, yourself is sitting there on the bench, and you can put yourself on, and, like this, and play with the great players, build up your team. And that's the kind of thing that this mode is about, that you should be able to play games, make money through kind of a betting thing that you have, and then you build up, and then you get this money, and you can buy stuff with the money to improve your squad. There will be a manager. He'll be angry at you if you lose. He'll be happy if you win, and he'll tell you encouraging things and not so encouraging things that I saw today. But I mean, that mode is about playing against players, mainly online, I guess, and you'll be able to play and well, I don't know if I should say too much here, but yeah, trying to build up this star team that will make an impact in the rankings, and you'll have these rankings that will go on, and you'll try to top these rankings and try not to be relegated. But I mean, it's kind of classic kind of stuff, like a little bit like the Master League or something like that in the PES world, something like that. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say about it, but it's coming along quite well, and it's looking like a lot of people will be able to play with their favorite teams and unlock a lot of players that used to be in their clubs. So I mean, a lot of football fans, with our game, we've always had, or if you look at Sensible World Soccer, we've always had this huge database with a lot of players. And we'll continue in that fashion, and we'll have a lot of classic players to unlock that you can put in your team and get maybe, if you put in a really good Alan Shearer in your team, you'll be able to score a lot of goals. Yeah. But with this player avatar mode, you'll be able to build up a good squad and play for your national team and this kind of thing. You'll have challenges along the way. You get the XP points, that kind of thing. You get challenges. You get it's in this kind of fashion. You do it.
So that does sound good, and I don't know if it's because the email address I've got for John, I don't know if it's like a personal or a work or whatever, but I genuinely find that he must just one day decide to look through the emails, because I don't get any responses for literally weeks at a time. Then all of a sudden I'll get 3 or 4 replies to like different messages all at the same sort of time. Yeah.
I mean, his mailbox is very full all the time because he's occupied with a lot of different stuff at the same time. So I mean, he does, and we have sessions at the office, and he flies in to Helsinki, and they work like nights and days and everything when he's there to improve things, and I mean, he's very busy all the time. So yeah, I know. When we've had him on, he does say a lot. Yeah, we use something at work called Slack. It's kind of a platform for communicating with people, and we use that, and that's the best platform that I've used in work for this kind of when you're not at the same location all the time. So it's great because you can write something and it's not I mean, he just answers to that like a normal chat conversation. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah,
I mean, we used to use Slack, and then it worked out that it was only me that had access to the actual website itself. So there was no difference. They just had to email me the files to upload.
Okay.
So I get bombarded with rubbish every day.
Yeah, but like this is good because there's 3 people. There's about, when we're at the office, all of us together, then of course we don't use it, but now I'm in Sweden, John is in England, 3 people is in Finland, another few people are in other places, so we have to be connected in a way, and Slack is working well for us. But now I'm taking care of most of the communications with all the media and stuff like that. I have that kind of communication, and so that's also why I was recruited a little bit, because they didn't want to have this kind of. They wanted to focus on the game and let me take the other stuff. Yeah. And I'm really fine with that. It's kind of great. Yeah.
So I mean, how difficult is handling the social side of things when you've also got like another sort of like job? Do you have to do your normal job, and then once you finish that, then you can start doing the social media, or do you have your phone with you to do, when you can?
I have some. my experience in the business is probably why I got this job, because I've been at Konami. I had this as a kind of almost like this was my full-time job in Konami. I did this for 100% then, and now I'm not doing it 100%, but I'm still putting down a lot of extra time into this, because I really like, when you like something, you do it almost more than just for, you do it more than for the money. But I mean, I'd say that I go to my normal job in Sweden, Helsingborg, where I live, and I do my job there, and then I go home and I spend a few hours with this. That's how I do it, and the guys they knew my experience. They flew me to Finland, so I'm doing well with this.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're sort of saying, because I mean, me myself, if I was given an opportunity to, I mean, even if it was just to go to places, demo the game, tell people about the game, things like that, I would basically do it for free.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do it for free, actually.
Well, as long as I got the travel paid for.
I understand your point of view there, and I understand a lot of fans would like to do this as their job, but at the same time, if you're not paid for what you do, then you can do it as good or as worse as you'd like.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be, I don't want to be in that position, and the people that are hiring me don't want me to be in that position. And I don't want to have, I don't want to be semi-professional in this work, actually. Because I did that the first years with Konami, and it wasn't, and it didn't pay, it didn't give me anything, right? Like in that kind of sense. And then I got the contract, and I had a contract with Konami for a few years, but it still took that time to build it up, And now I'm here with Sociable Soccer, and they invited me to come back into the business, and I said yes, I want to come back into the business, and I got what I got because I had the experience from the other thing, and also I worked with football. So I mean, I understand that you'd like to do this for free, and a lot of people would like to do it for free. But I mean, also at the same time, like I said, people shouldn't be doing stuff for free all the time. It's kind of then you get also, if you do it for free, then you don't get into the sweet places. Like you don't get stuff that you might get if you were paid to do it. Also, it's kind of you're dealing with things that like how respected you are and stuff like that also. And in the gaming business, I mean. If you want to do something professional, you want to be respected also, and I want to be respected, and that's why I can't do it for free anymore. Yeah. I was just like a lot of other gamers. I did it for free, but at this point in my life, I don't want to do it for free anymore. Also, because I'm 35 years old. Okay, I can't do it for free. It takes up too much time.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because, I mean, I'm 35 as well. And, I mean, as I said before, I would love to do it, but I have a full-time job that I have to have, otherwise I can't pay the rent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'd be one of these things where, for me to, because it would be my dream sort of thing, to sort of carry on my website, or to do something similar, moving into the gaming sort of area, and even if I just cut down my hours at work to be part-time and then have a part-time contract with a studio or whatever, to compensate. But all I was saying is that, I guess it was to actually be able to show people who are excited to see the game, tell them about it, and just to see them playing the game, that it must be worth so much.
Yeah, it's really worth. It's worth $1 million. I mean, it's a kind of a it's kind of a positive job. It's kind of it gives you a lot, at least up until the game is released. I mean, after that, you don't really know how people react when they have paid money for it. But up until that point, everything is, in Sweden we have this expression called gold. It's all gold and green forest up until the release, But I mean, after that comes the tough part. When you're dealing with people who are not happy with the game. That kind of when that stuff shows up, you have to be able to handle that in a good way, and that's about what have you said before the game came out.
Yeah,
that's why we're keeping this quite low key up until we have something that we can present. We're building this.
You don't want to promise features that is not going to be within the reach of the first release. Yeah,
that's why I'm talking a little bit like in general about the player avatar career mode, because I can't say exactly what is going to be there in the full version, because we're still a long way from release, So I'm not saying too much. I'm saying the parts that we do have, and then I'm not saying what exactly will be in there, because it would be to promise too much. Okay.
Yeah. And one of the features that I have spoken to Jon about, and he's occasionally got back to me with maybe, yes, we'll speak more in the future. But basically it was the custom or joke sort of teams within the game.
Yeah.
We were sort of like talking about having like an official one-up gaming team.
Oh yeah, okay.
To actually have within the game that actually ships for everyone. And he was quite positive, and then I don't know if, like I say, I don't know if it's busy or if it was just being nice. But we as a team, we would love to, anything we could do to implement that feature, we would love that.
Yeah. Actually, well, when we were in Glasgow, we have about 16 custom teams in the game, and one of those teams are Combo Breaker, which is the company that has hired me, and so we have all of us in it, and also in Glasgow there was the person that won the tournament there gets to be in the game, and also some people from the survey will be in the game. We have a fan site from Germany, which we have talked to, that does this. It's called sensiblesoccer.de, and you can play the old game there.
Yeah, they do a lot of the tournaments, don't they? Like the old.
Yeah, they do a lot of tournaments in the old game, and we talked about them having a team in there, and of course, still it's something that I can't say still that we'll put all these requests about having a team in there. We can't say anything about it yet, because we haven't started that process yet of including the fans to that extent. So when we got something, and it will probably be on me to announce this or to include people in that way. So let me get back to you when there's actually a mode for implementing that. Then I'll be really happy to announce it. To be able to be able to invite people to send in their own custom teams or something like that. I won't say for sure, but it's a possibility, and there's And since we have talked about edit mode and stuff like that, it's probable that it will happen, that we will have a lot of custom teams in the game when it's released. Yeah.
Because, like I say, I mean, as we've already spoken, like I'm a massive, like, Sensible software fan with Can Fodder, Megalomania as two of my all-time favourite games.
Yeah.
And Sensible Soccer that I used to play religiously on the Mega Drive. And I also went to one of my mates' house who used to have the Amiga 1200, and he had Sensible World of Soccer, and we used to just play that like for hours and hours at a time. So to get my little tiny site featured in that, it would be just a dream. It'd be so good.
And that's I mean, I also, I sat there in the 90s. I was sitting there and made my team and the team I was playing for. I made them in Sensible World of Soccer, and I played with them at home. Put the stars, like gave them also ratings and everything, and played with teams against these other custom teams and everything. It was superb. And of course we'll do that. I want to do that for the fans. Fans want to be in the game. Why shouldn't they be? I mean, I'd love to be in there, and I'm already in there. But I mean, now we can. This is something that we can. I mean, this is something that is. It's not hard for us to do it. It's not hard. It's kind of a appreciation thing for all the fans that was there in the 90s, and all the new fans that are coming that want to be in a football game. It wouldn't be that hard to put in a lot of fans into a game. It's one raw. It's like a little bit of database with different statistics for players, and then you have the name, and it's a small thing. And then people could maybe we wouldn't be able to do like all the faces and everything, because that takes a lot of time. But that people could fix by themselves, and then probably share them with each other also, because we're gonna have we want to make an edit mode, which I can't say much about because we haven't started working on it yet. But I mean, an edit mode where you can share your creations with other people, that kind of thing, like the other football games do. They have edit modes and sharing option files and stuff like that. And we want to have the same kind of thing, basically. Yeah.
So I will say we've been talking for about an hour.
Time passes quickly.
It does, especially when, well, you say that, but there is sometimes when it's been like 15 minutes and it's like, oh my god, hurry up. But sometimes especially when it's a subject I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And it is, I like asking questions that, because I think about 2-3 weeks ago, we interviewed a team who had just released a point-and-click adventure game.
Okay.
And I was talking to him, and they were like, oh, have you working on your next project? And they were like, oh yeah, it's a mobile project, but we can't talk about it. And after about 5 minutes of pressing, I actually managed to get the full name of the game, what you do in it, all the details, and, so it's it's a gift. I just talk to people until they get bored and then just say whatever they want. But just wondering, has that game updated?
What was?
Has the
updated
to have a?
Let's see here. What do we have there? I want to do that. So this is interesting to see, because our developers they put in now when I got the game for the first time, there's a new update to the, let's see here. You see, that's the logos from the, and then see here. And then there's going to be like
a virtual D-pad.
What?
Does it have a virtual D-pad?
No, it doesn't. We don't like that.
No, neither do I.
So no, not anything like that. So anyhow, you can't see very well here, but here you select your team, and then you go to, well, I selected Leicester now. But the thing is with this game now, it plays, and yeah, there's a little bit, wait, you can't see anything maybe.
If you turn your brightness down on the screen, that should, on the phone.
Okay, wait a second, I'll see here. Let me see. Let's see here. Is that better? No. Wait.
No, you want the main light on, and just the brightness of the screen, put it down to dim.
Okay. Let's do that.
And then that should work. So I had to set up a massive undertaking of using a 60-inch TV behind us while we were doing interviews on our live sort of like webcast.
Okay.
And I had to work out how to get all the lighting worked out. That took a bit of time.
You got some experience in that field then. And it works here too. So let's see here now. See if it's better. Is this better now? Yeah, it's much better. Much better. So that's actually a new screen we have there. This game is only half complete.
It does look like the referee though, with a work helmet on.
It is. And let's see here.
So is it still 50%?
I mean, basically what we have done is that we worked on modes in the game also, and it's about, I mean, when we met, it said 50%. I'd say that it's somewhere around 55-60% now, probably. So don't take that number that they put there in too much consideration. But now let's see here. There we have that view, and we'll see here. We have, But yeah, so basically what you do is that you put your finger and then you drag the player like where he's supposed to run. But now playing like this is going to be really hard. But anyhow, you got a little bit of Sociable Soccer from the Android version there.
So with that, I assume when you've actually got the ball, you actually like draw where you want him to go. Yeah,
you get into control with the player, and then you point. The player selection is automatic in the Android version, so it will take the player that is closest to the ball, or kind of if there's a ball player approaching another player, it will switch to that player. So you'll be controlling a good player to go in for the tackle, for example, or just to break with the ball. I mean, then you control with one finger, and then you shoot with another finger. So if you're holding like that, you'll make a shot with the other thumb.
I mean, did you guys ever think of implementing something similar to like PES on the Wii?
You mean the kind of
where you with the waggle, where you point and move sort of thing on the screen.
Yeah,
it looked more tactical, sort of like you drew a line where you want the player to go to and a line where you want the pass to go, sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think the other guys at the office have been thinking about that. Actually, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I know about that game. Of course, I have my Wii back there. I played that version a lot because I tried it out. I played it with that one, but then I really enjoyed that game, and I bought the classic controllers for the Wii.
Yeah.
And that's just the best Pro Evolution Soccer game, like almost the best of of the PES games that it was ever made. Like to play that on the Wii, and then you have like good resolution on your TV and everything. It's like a superb game. But anyhow, let's go back to Sociable Soccer. With those controllers, it's. I mean, when we got this solution to be able to play it with the fingers on the screen, it just feels very, very good when you play it. It feels natural in the way that how we made the player switch, the player selection, how that came to feel correct, like that you're in control of the player that you want to be in control of. That's the main issue, or the main thing with the game, that you are in control of a player that is actually close to the ball, or when you're controlling the player with the ball, it's gonna feel quite easy to control him. That's the main point, we are now trying to implement the speed burst of speed kind of thing too. But I can't say much about that because we're just in the process of evaluating the different kind of how we should do that. Because Sociable Soccer has 2 buttons now instead of the classic one for Sensible World of Soccer. I don't know. We spoke about that at the.
I think we've spoke over Twitter.
Yeah.
I think we were talking with the developer of Natural Soccer.
Yeah.
And we were all in agreement that the one-button control is maybe a little too limiting in 2016. Because we were talking about Dino Dini's sort of kick-off, saying that with the one button, it just doesn't feel... At the very least, you need a pass-shoot button and a tackle sort of button.
Okay.
You know, so you're not hit. The amount of penalties I give away because you try to clear the ball and your man just slides right through.
Yeah.
You know, so you physically need the 2 separate buttons. Oh, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. But then again, Sociable Soccer will be this kind of. It's an arcade game, so you have to. I mean, if you lose the ball in the penalty and in the penalty box, and you're going to try to take it back, and since you're just using one button, it will create these kind of comedy situations, right? And that's what Sensible World of Soccer was known for, a little bit like that. You know, you tackled that guy. Sometimes unintentional, and it created a fun moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends on how the controls are implemented at the core level of the game.
Yeah, you will have like also from different from Sensible World of Soccer is that you'll actually have a player selection button in this one. You know, you'll have like, if we look at the PlayStation controller, you'll have L1 making you'll be able to select the player, so you won't be as prone to tackle down somebody in the penalty box as you used to be in Sensible World of Soccer, probably.
I mean, even with the one-button control that I played at the Glasgow sort of place, I didn't find myself sliding all over.
No.
You know, so like...
Not like...
The way that you guys have got the game working is fundamentally different to how Dino Dini designed his game. Yeah,
I saw some really... Well, since I played Dino Dini's game, you made some horrible tackles that you didn't want to make. Okay. Now it will probably be that I don't know the game that well to be able to...
Just before we sort of go any further, we're not bad-mouthing Dino himself. who's a talented designer and game maker. We just think some of the decisions are fundamentally not the best for a football game.
I haven't played his game that much that I can actually say how things work out. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
Because I downloaded this game to just have a match against one of my friends one night before we went out, and I just wanted to try it because it's one of the few football games that have come out this year, and I played a lot of PES. I wanted to try out something new with my friend before we went out. We just played two games, so I mean, there's probably a lot to learn in there. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So I will say thank you for coming on. It's been a great chat, and as I said before, I love talking to people who, one, are passionate, and two, something that I'm passionate about as well. Yeah,
it's great. It's always great to have I like to be able to express, to talk a little bit longer, because usually when you're in these kind of events and stuff like that, it's very quick talk, with everybody. To be able to communicate with everybody at an event, a big event, you have to maybe have a little bit shorter answers, and just so that you can be with everybody at the same time. So this kind of podcast is great, just to expand on some stuff that you didn't get to do before,
Yeah, I mean, I will say at the Glasgow event, I played none of the arcade games. I maybe played 2 pinball games, because I've never really played pinball before, so I thought I'd give it a go. I had one go at the Sega Saturn version of Sega Rally, because there was like a time trial, and I haven't played it in about 10 years, and I was only 2 seconds off the best time, so I thought, if I have another go, I could maybe do... But no. So I left that, and I bought a Sega Saturn arcade stick, and I recorded 15-20 minutes of the cosplay sort of stuff. And
I saw that video actually.
And I did loads of other bits and bobs. And it was only Sociable Soccer that I actually played, I think, about 3 or 4 games on. So basically that was my entire day, just going and I played the HTC Vive, which I was very underwhelmed with.
Yeah, I also tried out the Vive also when I was there. It was just down the alley there.
Yeah, it was literally just you were down at the end, and it was just at the front sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I would say easily that the Sociable was the best game at that event, and I can only see good things with the game, because it is playing, as you said before, it is playing brilliantly. And I just wish that people will get behind it when it actually does come out.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, a lot of these games now, not saying that it will happen to Sociable, but a lot of these games that don't have the big marketing push, they come out, and literally a few weeks later, no one's playing them.
Yeah.
But hopefully...
that's how we right now we're making the latest build that we are making. We're presenting this we're talking with a lot of people about this, and the VR mode for us created some really, really good buzz in the market for us, because we're one of the first games to have a VR mode that works in a game which you actually complete, kind of that thing, and so that has given us a lot, and that's why back a few weeks ago, there was so much about the VR mode in the news and everything. So I hope that hopefully we'll be able to announce some really good news between now and end of August. Because it's like we're going to Gamescom, we're going to there's another event also in Holland, in Netherlands, the Sensi Days it's called. We're going to go there too. It's a World Cup kind of thing for a sensible World of Soccer players. And then after that we have there will be other events coming up in the autumn. But I mean, right now it's going to be Gamescom, and we'll deliver some good news there. And that's what we're looking at, basically. Gamescom.
Yeah.
Gamescom. And that's the biggest thing in Europe. So, I mean, that's when everybody delivers their big news. And hopefully we'll be able to do that too.
So, I mean, talking about the VR, I guess it's PC certain. Have you also announced it's also for the PlayStation VR?
It will work with pretty much any VR out there. So we can't really say that it's gonna be available on the PlayStation right now, but it will more than probable be available on the PlayStation.
Fundamentally, it works, but you just have to get the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And I don't know if this would be possible at all, but have you guys thought of using like Google Cardboard with a Bluetooth controller with your mobile sort of devices?
No, we haven't. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about what you're talking about, actually. But
yeah. Google Cardboard, you basically put your mobile phone into like a viewfinder.
Okay.
And it splits the screen in half to do like the virtual reality, and it uses the gyroscopes in the phone to do the up, down, left, right. So
okay.
I was just thinking, if you were to get the game to run, split the screen in half to actually have the 3D effect, be able to put the phone within the viewfinder and use a Bluetooth controller, that'd work with the VR view with the Bluetooth controller on your mobile.
I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Because that would be quite cool.
Yeah, I don't see how that wouldn't be something that we could actually do. I would see that as a big possibility. I mean, that wouldn't. I think that our programmer would be like, it wouldn't be something that would be hard for them to fix at Artis. So
yeah. I mean, it's just these little things that I thought I would mention because it's things that I would like to see implemented.
Yeah,
I think, you know, if you
the whole team will watch this interview.
Oh, that's good.
And then they will just like, there will be like 100 messages coming up on my Slack. Why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why did you say that? And then I'll have to answer to that. And hopefully you'll still see me doing interviews later this year. Yeah.
Well, if it's any consolation, you've been great.
Okay.
So
great.
I will say thank you again for coming on. And if you just want to mention to people how they can contact the team, or you know, on Twitter, Facebook, those kind of things that people can link to.
Yeah. You can get in touch with us. There's actually, if you want to write the mail, you can write me at Gustav. Well, that's kind of hard to spell out, right? But anyhow, if you go, there's a sociablesoccer.com. There's Facebook /Sociable Soccer, and there's Twitter Sociable_soccer, and we are on Instagram with Sociable Soccer. So all these formats. So, and I'll be the one that I'll be answering everything. So if you contact me in one way, then we'll be in touch.
So again, thank you, Gustav. It's been great.
Yeah, thanks, David. It's been great to be on. Okay?
Not a problem.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular, in that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.